Am I missing anyone? Okay, I can see Mr. Olatoye. You're welcome. Miss Shitu, it's good to have you here. You're welcome. Please, if you are so excited about today's meeting, I would like to see a reaction. I'd like to see your reaction. I'm super duper excited. Yeah. Amanda PH, I can see you. You're welcome. Wow. A lot of thumbs up. It's good to have you here. So let's start. Let's start. Today we have a very special guest in our midst. For most of us here, her name always rings a bell because she's known for something. But I wouldn't want to let the cat out of the bag. I'm going to introduce her formally. I don't want to do it informally. So, um, Ms. Blessing Oreri is a professional teacher, a curriculum developer, and an online education entrepreneur. With over 13 years of teaching experience, she is passionate about helping children learn effectively and equipping teachers and tutors with the skills they need to become better educators. She is the founder of Tiny Tots, an online tutoring company, and she's the founder of I Teach with Miss B on YouTube, where she creates educational content and provides training for educators. Her areas of expertise include English 11 plus, SAT, and GCSE exam preparation. She's also good at helping children think critically, and she handles teacher trainings as well. With a standing ovation and a round of applause, wherever you are, I would like you to celebrate our guest speaker for tonight. Her name is Miss Blessing. Please, as we usher her in, I would like to see your reaction, please. Use the comment section, use the emoji. You can
Hello,
shout.
everyone.
You're allowed.
They can shout. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Good to have all of you here this evening. Yeah, Miss Debbie, thank you so much for the privilege of coming out to. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for
You're
the
welcome.
lying down ovation, standing ovation, sitting ovation, all of the above. Thank you all for that. I really appreciate it. And I'm looking forward to us having a wonderful time today. Yeah, hi, Miss Ellen. Okay, I'm looking forward to us having a wonderful time today. And let's see how it's going to be. So today's session is going to be how do I put it? It's going to be both interactive and question based. So if you have your pen, your paper, please go ahead and keep it. Now, the reason why what we are doing today is majorly focusing on how to teach 11 plus exams and SAT exam. Good evening, everyone. Miss Chiamaka, welcome to today's training, right? So yeah, today's training is, how will I put it? I really want us to get the best out of it. So if at any point you have questions, you could use the chat. Use the chat, put in your questions. And then another thing I will plead with you all is when you come in, just mute your microphone for me so that you don't interfere. I know that sometimes network takes us out and brings us in. So when you're going out and you're coming in, just mute the microphone. And then when you want to um if you have questions, we are going to have a question and answer section, but there you could also ask. So today, first of all, I'm going to say I love teaching exam students are my go-to. When it comes to 11 plus SATs, GCSE, you always see me teach these classes because of two things. Number one, I am result oriented. I like results. I like to, not just result, I like good results. And then another reason is that there is money for online tutors that teach exam classes. These are my two reasons why I focused my niche on exam classes. I didn't start teaching and then in my head I was like, oh, I'm going to focus here. But I noticed the pattern in the online space and then I followed the one that um benefits me the most. So if you're here and you've not niched down yet, you're doing all the things or you're teaching all the subjects, I will advise you to niche down on the topics or the subjects you want to teach online and be good at it. Be known for it, that you are good at this particular thing. Be known that you're good for it or good at it. Okay. So yeah, welcome everyone. Quickly, we are going to just go straight into it. And before I go into it, I will say I am qualified to teach this because this year I taught a total of 18 students preparing for SATs and all of them passed. I had only one student that had 99. The rest students I taught SAT had over 100. And last year I taught 8 students preparing for 11 plus, and only 2 did not pass. And what failed them was not English, it was maths. And one was non-verbal reasoning. So let's look at what we have today. So quickly, I'm going to rush through what we have today. I am going to be sharing, um, I would like to, um, I'm going to do it in a way where it is practical. I'm going to be sharing with you past questions as well as um past questions as well as the scheme of work used for 11 plus exams. Okay, so welcome everybody. If you're just joining, welcome. We're just starting and I'm going to see how I can rush through this quickly. Now 11 plus exam is written. I'm sure that those of you, if you have been here from the beginning of this training, when we started this training, it's been 3 weeks or so yet since the training started. And yeah, it's been 3 weeks since this training started, and so far, Miss Debbie has trained us or has given us a clue about all the other tutors, like Miss Choma taught maths, Miss Laura taught GCSE. So the other tutors they had given us clues about these exams. Okay, they had
Hey
given
God.
us clues about. Please, can you mute your microphone if you're just joining? Thank you. Okay, so the other teachers have given us clues about these exams, but I'm just going to run through it again. All right, I'm going to run through these exam boards again. Now, we have 11 plus exam. 11 plus exam is written by students in year 6 or students that are just entering year 6. It's usually written in September. You know that September school usually resumes. So they prepare for this exam from their year 5 and year 4 in preparation to writing this exam at the beginning of their year 6, which is September. The exam is usually done in September. So next month, right? The people that are in year 5 now going to year 6, they are going to write the exam next month. Okay, so that is when they usually write the 11 plus exam. And then we have SATs exam. SATs exam is usually written in May, year 6, second term. Is it second term or third term? Year 6. When they are already like fully in the year 6, that's when they write the SATs exam. And for 11 plus, there are different exam boards. If you were here from the beginning of the training, you will understand that there are different exam boards. So we're not just teaching 11 plus students. No, we are teaching based on the school exam board. If you are a teacher here and a parent comes to you and say, hello, Miss Debbie, my child is preparing for the 11 plus exam. And you tell the parents, oh, yes, I can teach 11 plus. And you don't know you didn't ask the parents what school the child is going to, what exam board, then you are lost. Because there are some schools that write only verbal reasoning and non-verbal reasoning. They don't do maths and English. Follow me. And there are some schools that does maths and English, and they don't do verbal reasoning and non-verbal reasoning. And then there are some that do the 4 of them. Most of them usually do the 4 of them, which is maths, English, non-verbal reasoning, and verbal reasoning. If you were here for Ms. Choma's training, certainly you would have heard her talk about non-verbal reasoning. If you don't know what non-verbal reasoning is, please go and browse about non-verbal reasoning for UK. I think it's usually taught by maths teachers. So if you're a maths tutor, you can actually learn to teach non-verbal reasoning. But today I'm going to focus on English. I'm going to touch, or I might touch verbal reasoning a bit, but I'm going to focus on English. So let's go to what we have. Now let's look at the different exam boards. We have different exam boards that we use to teach 11 plus exam. And the first one I have here is GL. This is the popular one. I think most people know very well, GL exam board. This exam board is usually written by students that want to go into the grammar school in the UK. It is written by students that are going into grammar school in the UK. So you have this GL, and most of the time, GL exams usually have maths, English, non-verbal reasoning, and verbal reasoning put together. So you have all of these, the four of them, the GL tests, the four of them. And most grammar schools in the UK usually actually use the GL exam. And like I said, the major thing that you always see in GL comprehension, in GL, you see the comprehension question, and for English, GL English, you see comprehension, you see vocabulary, you will see grammar, and you will see, when I mean vocabulary, I mean spelling, vocabulary and spelling, right? And then you will see grammar, and then you will see punctuation. The GL assessment tests all of this in English. And then for it's how will I put it? It's very, very time conscious. They test their time. So as a tutor, you're teaching exam class, yeah, you should always test timing as well. So teach the student how to manage their time. And we're going to talk about that very soon. Don't worry, we're going to talk about that. And then the next thing I want us to talk about is for verbal reasoning, you will see them do codes, you see them do letter for numbers, you see them do analogies, you see them do synonym and antonym, which is a major problem for students who are preparing for the 11 plus exam, synonym and antonym. Okay? Synonym and antonym. They don't do SPAG like SPAG, the way it is in GL, in 11 plus rather. SPAG is usually done, or the way they call it SPAG is for SAT. Although it's still the same thing we do in GL, but in GL we just call it comprehension, the punctuation, spellings, and what's it called? Grammar. I'm going to share a past question on different exam boards so that you see the different exam board types that we have. And then we talk about verbal reasoning, and I've talked about the things that you see in verbal reasoning. Let's look at another exam board. Another exam board that you will see is SEM. Okay, CEM, the same exam board, Center for Evaluating and Monitoring. This is another exam board that you're going to see. And again, SEM tests the four parts. But one thing with SEM is most of the questions, it's not all the questions that are objectives, and they have writing tasks in it. Okay, SEM has writing tasks. GL does not have writing tasks, like when they will say, oh, the student should write. GL does not have that. GL is more of objective from beginning to end. You will see them give 50 questions, 50 objective questions for 50 minutes. That's GL. But SEM, they also give all of these things, and then there's writing tasks. So this is for SEM. So if you're teaching, a parent comes to you and say, my child is going to do school, check the exam board the child is going to use. If the child is using SEM, just know that you're going to be teaching the child writing as well. But if you're doing GL, you don't need to teach writing. Is that okay? Moving forward, let's look at independent school. This one is for students that want to enter into the independent school. They use the exam board ISEB. Okay, they use the ISEB. They call it ISEB, yes, the question, right? So they usually, this one you will see writing. In fact, ISEB past questions, you will hardly see you see ISEB and CSSE past question, you will hardly see objective. Is right. What they are testing is how the child thinks. Can the child infer? Can the child retrieve from the passage? These are all the things that we're going to be looking at from when we are doing our tasks. And I'm also going to show you guys past questions so that you guys understand what I mean by writing, when the child has to write, when writing using ISEB or CSSE past question. Okay, so moving forward here, we have I talked about ISEB pretest, and then we have some specific school or school specific exam. This one is based on different schools. The schools will decide, okay, we are bringing out our own exam. But there are some sites you can actually go to and you will see past questions from different school, like Pi Academy. Pi Academy is one place I love when it comes to 11 plus exam, although it is paid. My community, we know how we used to get paid questions, right? We'll come together, maybe 10 people in a group will come together and pay for the the site, and then we have access to 11 plus exam. If you're an 11, if you're preparing any child now for 11 plus, I think it's something that you can do. I think for 11 plus exam past question English is 69 pounds. 10 people can come together, put money together, subscribe for that 69 pounds, and then have access to past questions for different school. I think it's going to help. I just shared a clue on how you can get it easily or cheaper. All right. So we talked about exam specific schools. And this one is based on, sorry, school specific exam. And this one is based on the school that they create their own exam. For example, Henrietta Barnett, Tiffin Latimer, and St. Olive. So if a parent comes to you and tells you that my child is going to St. Olive school, know that they're not using the normal past question that everyone is using. However, we still teach the same skill. We still teach the same skill, but you will have to look for the school's type of past question. But again, this type of schools, they do a lot of writing. So have it in mind. It's not objective, it is writing, right? Okay, please, I hope you're following me. If you're following me, please give me a thumbs up. Let me know that I'm not just rapping. Because sometimes I tend to talk fast. So please, give me a
Yeah,
thumbs up.
man.
Let me know that you're following. Okay, so moving forward, yeah. We've talked about the different exams. So now these are the things that we need to know based on the different exam. Please, if you have a question, use the chat. I will respond. Please, just use the chat first. I'm going to call you so you can respond. So let me finish this part and then we'll talk. All right. Okay. So these are some things you must learn about exam. If you are preparing a child for exam, number one is timing. Timing is always a big issue. I had the student that did not pass last year that I prepared for the 11 plus, right? What happened? The child did not finish with the time. Timing was the problem. It's not like most of these children, it's not like they don't know what to do. They know what to do, but they have time problem. So timing was a problem. Another thing is writing, how to write well. They didn't know how to, some students don't know how to write. They don't even know how to, the only thing they know how to do is retrieve, which is a problem because most teachers usually teach retrieval more than inference. And I'm going to teach you guys how to teach English on this space. Why am I saying space? In this meeting, right? I'm going to teach you how you can structure your lesson, your English lesson, here, all right? So, but I just want to finish 11 plus and then we'll go to SAT. Then again, vocabulary. Another thing that fails students a lot in 11 plus is synonym and antonym. They bring out some words that even you as a teacher, you will have to think very well. You will think very well before you know the meaning of those words, or you just go and use the dictionary, right? So vocabulary in context, like how the child can decode the meaning of a word based on the way it is used in a sentence. Yeah. So these are the things that you need to know. And then exam techniques, how to manage stress, how to skip difficult questions on that. Once they get to, I usually tell my students, if you spend more than 30 seconds on one question, skip it, go to the next. Later you come back to it. So so you have to teach them this skill. You also have to teach them how to retrieve answers. You have to teach them how to eliminate wrong answers. Because some answers will look very the same. And you'll be wondering, is it this one or this one? So you have to teach them how to eliminate wrong answers as well. These are the things you need to teach children when you are teaching exam classes. Is that okay? I'm going to take some questions in the chat that some people have asked me. Let me see. I was wondering if you could display the ISEB page for a few seconds. Oh, the ISEB page. Let's see. I talked about okay, this is ISEB. Yeah, this is it. All right. So, We teach literary and like I said, and ISCB is more of writing. All right. So this is majorly what you will find in 11 plus questions. And quickly, I want to share my screen again, and I'm going to take you guys to past questions before we go to SAT, right? We are still on 11 plus. I only have 1 hour and few minutes with you all. So we are on 11 plus. I want to teach this in a way that you'll be able to understand what I mean. Okay, so let's go to, all right. So let's go to my, let's go to my OneNote. I want to share how you use or different past questions that you will likely see. All right. Um, please, if you're just joining, you can mute your microphone, okay, so that you don't disrupt the class for everyone. Thank you. All right, let's move. Now, I have a, what's it called? I have a catalog of past questions, a lot of them, right? Because I've been doing this for a long time. But let's walk through, I'm going to walk you guys through GL, what you will likely see in a GL comprehension question, and then I will move to ISEB and the other ones. Okay, so this is a GL question. Basically, this is what you will see in a GL question. You will see them give comprehension, all right? And you can get these past questions from CGP Plus. You can get them from what's it called? What do they call this site? From GL assessment sites. You can even get them from sats.co.uk. I think I'm going to share some of the sites with Miss Debbie so that she can share it with us in the group where we can see 11 plus past question. But again, my go-to will always be Pi Academy because Pi, although it is paid for, but Pi Academy gives you or breaks it down for you according to schools. All right. Now, this is it. Yeah. I have this as a GL past question. Like I said, GL is more of objective. So for comprehension, you will see a lot of comprehension. For the comprehension, they will give you, or they might give the child 20 to 25 questions, as the case may be, right? Now, let's look at this. I like this thing because I will say you are not just teaching the child to read, you are teaching the child to read and understand. And this is the another reason why I would say, as a teacher teaching 11 plus or exam student, your student should be able to annotate. Annotation is a skill. Annotation helps the child to be able to pick out their answers quickly. So what do I mean by annotation? When they are reading, even if it's their exam, when they are reading, tell them if you're doing a practice question with them, they should use the highlighter on the OneNote. They should go take the highlighter and words that they feel they do not know, words that they think might be a clue to their answer, they should highlight it. That is what we call annotation. Very important skill when you are teaching exam students, whether it is GCSE exam or you will always see me when if I go take you to my students this thing, you will always see them annotate. It's a skill you need to teach because it helps them think fast. It helps them to locate their answers very, very quickly. Is that okay? Now, after teaching them annotation skill, another thing you need to do again, like I say, is let them highlight words that they feel they do not know the meaning of. However, there are some words that the sentence might give them a clue to the answer, right? Let's go here. I want to share some question. What time of the year is the passage set? This is clearly retrieval because the answer is going to be here somewhere, all right? So we just stepped out of our spring had come. Look at it. Definitely retrieval. Spring had come. So this is a retrieval question. Obviously, the child should be able to pick that one out easily from the beginning of the page. Another thing is, let me take you to another question where they have to infer. Mm, Look at number 4. Questions like question number 4 are questions like of inference. Why might the author have decided to include water references in paragraph 1 to 5? The child has to infer the answer because the answer is not going to be stated clearly in the text. When I talk about inference, I mean the child should be able to deduct or deduce the meaning from what is written in the text. All right. So number 4 is clearly inference. Number 4 is clearly an inference type of question. All right. Then we have another one. I'm going to answer questions. Please let me just finish up so that I can easily answer questions. And then moving forward here, that's for number 4. For number 5, yeah, we have what classes. So you see the question has a mix. You see what classes, you see inference, you will see retrieval. All of these things are here. How many adjectives can you count? At this point, your student should be able to know adjective. So when you are teaching 11 plus exams or you're teaching an 11 plus student, you are doing an, how will I put it? You are teaching an embedded lesson. You are not teaching in isolation. What do I mean by you're not teaching in isolation? You are not going to focus on throughout this week. All you are doing is grammar. Don't try it. In fact, if a child comes to you from year 4, if you are here, you're preparing a child from year 4, you can do isolation. You can start teaching in isolation. What do I mean by you can start teaching in isolation? You can start teaching the students grammar. You mix it up. Where's my pen? Okay. Let me quickly explain how we teach English when we want to teach. For example, you are preparing a child that is preparing for the ISEB exam, right? If you have a student that is preparing for IXEB exam, and remember, I said IXEB for ISEB exam, you will teach writing. So let's say our focus of the day or our focus for the month is descriptive writing. What I will advise you to do is to get a descriptive text. First of all, find a comprehension text that talks about description or described somewhere. Now, when you're doing this, your first class is actually your comprehension class, where you guys are working on answering comprehension question using descriptive or a descriptive passage. Let's say this is the same for the month of August. We're preparing, maybe we're just using this for the month of August, and we're preparing a descriptive text, right? Now, once you're done doing that, in the comprehension, allow the child or ensure that the child is able to pick out what can you see? Things that has to do with the 5 senses. Again, the child should be able to pick out good or strong adjectives. Okay? Good or strong adjectives. Oh no, I mistakenly stopped sharing. Someone was writing on my screen and I wanted to disable annotation. Sorry about that. Okay, so the child should be able to identify strong adjectives from the text. The child should also be able to identify synonyms or words that they do not know. When this is all you're doing when you're doing your comprehension. Okay, synonyms, and then you go ahead to answer the comprehension questions that follow in your first class. Remember, normally we usually have 1 hour per week, basically, right? Normal basic online class is 1 hour per week for a subject. So you are doing English 1 hour English in a week, right? So the next class, so invariably you have 4 classes in a month, let's say. Then the next class, you are working on vocabulary words. Those words that you picked from the comprehension that the child did not know the meaning of. You pick out the words, vocabulary words. The vocabulary words can also be words from the comprehension passage. Okay, the vocabulary words can also be questions from the comprehension passage. For example, if we look at question number, sorry, look at it. Look at question number 16. Incessant tour. What does the word incessant mean? The child might not know the meaning of this word, right? So you are picking out words that the child might not know the meaning of. Your second class, you are doing vocabulary and spelling. What are you doing? You are telling the child to find the meaning of the word. You're telling the child to find the synonym of the word. You're telling the child to find an antonym of the word. This is how you build vocabulary in student. You're also telling the child to use this word in context to make a sentence. You're telling them to make it in context. You're telling them to make a sentence with the word. These are the things you are working with when you're teaching vocabulary. Now, your third class is grammar class. Now, in your grammar class, remember, our major focus is what's it called? Descriptive writing. Your grammar class now, you go into using adjective, expanded noun phrases, or using adjective to describe a scene. And whatever you're doing, the child should be able to do at least 1 paragraph writing task for you at the end of every class. It could be a take home, it could be something that they will do instantly, but they should be able to write for you at the end of every class. Is that okay? Moving forward, yeah, let's go again. Moving forward. Again, you have, again, when you're done with your grammar, teaching maybe adjective, or you're done teaching your sensory, that's your five senses. All of these things, you're using them, expanded noun phrases, using adjectives and all of that. You are using all of these now. Remember, we have a theme. Then the next class should be class 4, which is the last week of the month. What you guys are going to focus on should be writing. What are you doing in the writing? You are using all the skills you have learned from day 1, the words you've learned in week 2, the grammar you have used in week 3, to actually do a descriptive writing. Please, if you're following me, please use a thumbs up. Okay, use a thumbs up. Let me know that you're following. Are you seeing the way we model our lessons? If you are teaching a child from year 4, this is how your lessons should be structured. Weekly, don't go and do only comprehension for 1 month. Please. All right? Don't go and do comprehension for 1 month. No, have a mix them up. You don't teach in isolation, you teach all of them put together. All right, like I said, there should always be a model, which is the comprehension question you will use at the beginning, a model to doing this descriptive. All right, so these are the things I want you to take note of. Then moving forward, we have the English, we have word meaning. Look at this. What does it mean by quarters? Quarters can have 2 meaning. Quarters can be, in mathematics, is 1/4, right? Quarters can be money, like a change, money change. Quarters can also be lodging, meaning lodging. So in this place now, they're testing for what? Is it homonyms or yes, homonyms. They're testing for homonyms, words that have one word that has different meanings. They want to know if the child can pick it out. Again, they will always give the line. The child should be able to go to the line and find out the answers. This is you teaching 11 plus. Another thing I would say is they teach grammar. What type of word is persevering in line 26? Normally, a child will see persevering, ing, and quickly go and drag verb without going to look at the line. Let's go to line 26. I like to do this because some teachers will just say, oh, you failed it, and they will not tell the child why they failed it. Look at line 26. Line 26 say on the 10th, this is line 26 here. On the 10th day, as our persevering blows. Persevering here is describing the blows. So the persevering is certainly an adjective, not a verb. But if the word on its own is a verb, but when you use it in a sentence, this is what we call in context. When you use it in context, it is different. Are you all with me? So this is one skill you as a teacher, you even need to know. What is the word, does the word mean in this context? Let me show you another one. I think I was doing this with a child yesterday. Let me quickly move this here. I want to share this. Look at this one. In the beginning, instead, they relied on careful observation. Normally, the child quickly picked verb because observe, of course, observe is an action, right? But then they did not follow the rule. There is careful here, and careful is an adjective. What does careful do? What do adjectives do? They describe nouns. Definitely, this year is a noun because the tion changed it from a verb to a noun. It now became a noun, an abstract noun, because of the fact that you have careful here and the suffix that was added to it. If you're a teacher, you don't understand this rule, then there's a problem because we can change verbs to adjective, adjective to noun, as the case may be, all right, based on suffix added to a word. Is that okay? The word observe is a verb. Observe is a verb, yeah? But when you add the tion to it, it becomes an abstract noun. Most students usually fail questions like this because they'll just look at the word observation quickly, they'll go and take the verb. Okay, and this is what I wanted to explain to you guys. So as a teacher, you should be able to understand these things as well. Moving forward here, I was talking about arranging your lessons. So in a month, I've given you a structure that you should use to arrange your English lesson in a month. We're still on 11 plus. I'm going to quickly rush up so that we can go to SAT. Now, once you're done with this, Once they are done with comprehension, the next one you will see is spelling. Now, on a normal day, children are able to spell words on its own. You will tell a word, spell this, you tell a child, spell this word for me. They will take their pen and paper and spell it quickly for you. But when the word is in sentences like this, they struggle when they see the word in sentences like this. Most students will say it's county that is wrong and expect it to be country. Meanwhile, the wrong answer here is tournament. What is missing? Later, you. So in sentences like this, children usually make mistakes, all right? And then you see them, they try their best to like, oh, find out the answers and all of that. So you have to teach them a skill in spelling. What are the skills you're teaching them? Silent letters. You're teaching them silent letters. You're teaching them suffixes, when to double the consonants. In spelling, you're teaching them spelling rules. All right. And you're not just teaching them in isolation. They should be able to use these things in sentences. They should be able to use this word in sentences. If you are teaching a child and the child has a lot of spelling errors, you should use or try to imbibe spelling rules. IE rules. You will always see IE rules. Look at it. I've not even finished talking. I just saw it here. Received. What is the rule for IE? It's usually I before E, except there is a C. So if there's a C, or there's a long sh sound, that's when it breaks the rule. So the child should be able to know these rules and able to get their answers. So these are the things I want you guys to also take note of when you're teaching spelling rules. Okay, teach them silent letter, teach them homophones, homographs. These are things that you should be able to teach the child. Now, after doing spelling, you will see them give them punctuation. Punctuation in sentences is another big problem that students usually have. Although I've taught some students that are good with using their punctuation, however, you see them struggle with punctuation marks like semicolon, when to use the semicolons, when to use colons. You see them struggle with this type of punctuations a lot. All right. So you should be able to teach them this punctuation mark as well. And then when to avoid comma splicing, when you have a lot of commas. Again, you will also have to teach them parentheses. All right. Parentheses is another field I think you should also relax and teach your children when you're teaching 11 plus exams. And the last one is grammar. For grammar, they are not teaching them, it's not like the comprehension where they're telling them, is this a verb or a noun? No, they're looking at how they use the words. Okay, they're looking at how the words are being used. Waiting when the students' nerves soared as they listen to the word, the fact that you have to D, so it should be exciting. Don't go and take excitement. So you have to also teach them what to pick based on the context. All right. It's not just about sometimes you ask the children, why did you pick that? They'll tell you because it makes sense to me. It's not about the making sense, it's about the rules. Question like number 48. These are what? Homophones. There. You have homophones here. So the child has to think which one is which. Okay. If you're following me, please give me a thumbs up. Let me know that you're with me. All right. Very good. All right. So these are the things that and then you will see them have questions like this. So basically, GL questions are like 50 questions. And please, the person sending, don't worry, we'll come to questions. All right. So these are the things that you have in GL. Let's go to ISEB quickly. ISEB questions or CSSE questions, you're going to be seeing very good. This is an ISEB question. Is this an ISEB question? Yes. This is, okay, this is CSSE question, marking scheme and question. All right. I'm coming. Let's just give me a moment. I'm looking for the comprehension. Oh, okay. So this is CSSE. Let's look at CSSE before we go to ISEB. Now for CSSE, you can see the type of question they give them. It's not like GL where they have question options where the child can set code their options. They are not circling any option here. Here they are writing their answers in full. They want to see how the child can write, how the child can use punctuation, how the child can tick creatively, how the child can retrieve the answer from the text and write their answers in full. This is what they test in CSSE and ISEB. So this is a CSSE pass question, right? You could see number one question, what type of road junction is this? Number two, where was he walking from at the start of the extract? The child has to write the answer in full. They are not choosing options. You could see some of them have 1 mark, some of them have 2 marks. Look at number 6. Number 6 has 8 marks. Imagine a child not being able to give answers to an 8-mark question. That's a lot of loss. That is a whole lot of loss. A child that is not able to give answers to 8-mark question, that's a lot. And you can see it here. They say word or phrase and then explain it. The child should be able to tell the meaning of the word or the phrase that they are choosing. What are you teaching as a teacher? In this case now, what are you teaching the child? You are teaching the child how to get the evidence from the text and explain the evidence from the text. Okay, this is the question, or this is the story at the bottom. You will see them, they will give them maybe a 2-page story as the case may be. This is 2 pages. So the child will have to read and then answer the question here. And then they give them a little bit of applied reasoning question, just 10 marks. Okay, just applied reasoning question, 10 marks. But the rest, look at some of them, 2 marks, 3 marks, 4 marks. They have to choose their answers. They have to write very well. Look at this. Select one word or phrase which is most closely respond to this. So they will go to line 3 to 5 and choose a word that is synonym to automatically. This is how ISEB tests. They will choose a word that is synonym to automatically. So this is where you are now teaching the child synonyms and antonyms in context where they have to get the meaning from the where it is stated in the text. On a normal day, some children might be able to tell you this is what this one means, or they might not even be able to tell you the meaning of a word. But when they are reading it in a sentence, they'll be able to tell you the meaning. Is that okay? Another meaning, left, and all of that. So this is CSSE. Let's go to ISEB past question. I just want everyone to have a feel of what these past questions look like. This is ISEB past question. They will usually give a page or 2, like I said, and then they will give them questions. You can see the questions. It's not even like GL where you have. That is why you need to know the exam board that the child is using to write their exam. Knowing the exam board is going to help you as the teacher to know how to teach the child the skill. And most of this, for CSSE and ISEB, you always see that they have writing tags underneath. Okay, I'm going to also share a writing tags of ISEB or CSSE, so you see what they usually look out for. They will give them 2 writing tags, one on narrative, one on descriptive. Okay, so one is going to be on narrative and one is going to be on descriptive, right? And then you have them answer question like this. For questions that have heavy marks, teachers should be able to teach the children how to pick out the answers or write their answers. I was looking at the math scheme, and the math scheme told me, or the math scheme, the student should be able to, first of all, highlight the question a bit, give evidence from the text. It's more like using the PEE method, okay? The point, the evidence of the text, and then explain the evidence from the text. And that is what is going to give them the full marks. Okay, so it's either they're using the PEE or the PEA method where they're analyzing the answers as well. So this is it. So the teacher should be able to get this. The point, you should teach the child how to pick out the point from the text, how to give the evidence. What line did you get the points from? That's your evidence. And then explain the evidence. What does this suggest to the reader? Okay, what do you infer from that suggestion or from the evidence? That's what the child is supposed to explain. This is what gives them full marks. Again, you will see some questions have 2 questions in it, like question 5. What does defensive mean? And why is Mary's mother defensive? Some children will rush and answer only the first part and leave the second part. They will not have full marks. This first part will just give them 1 mark. And then they have lost 2 marks here. Is that okay? So you are teaching these things as well. So it is good to know the exam. This, let me see if I can see a writing tax. Yeah, this is a writing tax. For writing tax, for CSSC writing tax, they have one here, which is a narrative. Look at it, 15 marks. Okay, 15 marks for the what's it called? The narrative. You have 15 marks here, right? 15 marks for this is describe your favorite building. Write at least 6 sentences. They want to see how the child can write. And in this place, this is where they test their punctuation. This is where they test their spelling. They test their spelling here. They test their punctuation here. Very important. Same thing again. They will now give them a descriptive. This is a descriptive. They will give them a picture and tell them to describe. And if you look at the question here, they say they have how many minutes? 20 minutes. So invariably, they're using 10 minutes for the thing and 10 minutes for the second writing. And this is where a lot of children struggle because they will spend the whole 20 minutes doing only one and they're not having full marks. So you're teaching this skill as well. This is why timing in teaching exam classes very important. Okay, very important. So this is for 11 plus exams, preparation for 11 plus exam. We've looked at CSSE, ISEB, and all of that. So these are clues you could use to teach exam questions. If you have any question on 11 plus before I go to SATs, please, you can show of hands. Let's see. Do you have any question here before we go to SATs? I had a slide, but I've ignored my slide because I believe that showing practical example is better than explaining slides. I had a very wonderful slide I wanted to use today, but it's not going to benefit us if I don't explain verbally or from experience. What is the practical step to teaching inference? Okay, for teaching inference, what you are teaching when you're talking about inference is right. Inference teaches author's purpose. All right, or authors. Yeah, why did the writer write this? Let me share this with everyone. Let me share this. When you're teaching inference and what inference can do for you. All right, let me share this slide with you guys, so that you can see how to share or how to teach inference. These are the questions that you should be able to pick out when you're teaching inference. Please let me know when you can see my slide. Just give me a thumbs up. No. Okay. Okay, so this is my slide I wanted to use, but obviously I'm not using it because it's just going to be a waste. All right. This is how you teach inference. Please confirm you can see my slide. Use a thumbs up or something. Let me know you can see my slide. I'm just going to zoom this in a bit. All right. This is how you teach inference or you teach comprehension. Thumbs up, anybody. Let me see if you're following. Okay, very good. I could see some. So that means you guys are with me. All right, let's go. How do you teach a child inference? That laughing at me. Okay, how do you teach a child inference or how do you teach a child comprehension question? This is a simple, very simple guide. Number one, what do they recall from the text? When they are done reading, ask the child, what did you read? What did you understand from? What was the story about? Let them tell you. Now, they being able to tell you tells you that okay, they understand what they read. Because it's different when a child reads and the child does not understand. They understand what they had read. Now, how do you apply your answers or how do you put your answers? What do you think? When you do that when you ask them questions from the text. And when you ask them questions and they choose their answer, ask them, why do you think that this is your answer? What part of the text gives this away? How do you know that this one that you said is the answer is the main answer? What did you see here that makes you feel like, oh, this is your answer? The child should be able to tell you that. The child should also be able to tell you, what do you think the writer was thinking when he said this particular thing? What was he thinking about? I'm going to share a comprehension passage where I use this to model thinking with my students. And my student was able to know, oh, Miss Blessing, I failed it because I was thinking this when actually this is actually the answer. So this is it. So you're actually asking the child, what was the writer trying to make us think? What part of the text showed you your answer? Is there another way you can explain this in your own words? How do you explain it? Okay. There are some answers that you will see that they're too some children will tell you, I'm confused between C and E because C is saying this and E is saying this, and they are both in the text. They have to be able to pick which one is strongest based on the way they think or what the writer is thinking. That is how you get your answer to inference. They have to think about what the writer is thinking. Basically, that's what inference is. You have to think about the author's purpose. Why did the author use, if the author use skinny instead, or if the author use skinny instead of slim, why did the author use skinny? Because the author wants us to know that it is urgent or it is a serious situation. That is why the author used skinny. Okay. The author could just say the wind blew. But then again, we could have a sentence that says the ferocious wind tore at the houses, at the roof of the houses. Why did the author use personification to tell us that the wind is tearing the houses? He wants to let us know that it's comparing to a wild animal that is ferocious, that is looking for, that wants to just ravage everything. Mental picture. So this is how you teach inference. You have to make the child to understand what the writer wants us to think and what part of the text gives you the evidence. Please, I hope I've been able to answer that question before I move to SATs. I don't have time again. My time has elapsed. Okay, so quickly, let's go to SAT exam. I'm not going to use slides. I'm just going to quickly go to, please, did I answer that question? If I did, please use a thumbs up. Let me know that I did answer that question. I wanted to use show us more things, but we don't have time. Okay, very good, ma. All right, let's go to here. I want to share SATs. So let's go to SATs. All right. So for SAT exam is divided into two major parts. I have a bank of it. That's why you see my own screen here like this. I have a wide bank of SAT question because I teach year 6 a lot. So it's like my major class. So I have all year from like 2018 down to 2026. I have them on my laptop. All right. So SAT is divided into two. I'm not going to use a slide. Please just follow me, right? So SAT exam is divided into two. For English, it is divided into comprehension and SPAG. Comprehension and SPAG. What do we do in comprehension? In comprehension, basically, for SAT exam, they will give them 3 comprehension passages for that day. You will see one is going to be a fiction, one is going to be non-fiction, and one is going to be like maybe an informational text or it could be informational text or an article, as the case may be. So you always see them give 3 questions for SATs, right? And then they begin to test their answers or they begin to test the children. I'm going to share something I realized from SAT past questions or sorry, SAT mark scheme. And again, I forgot to mention this. If you're a teacher here, please work closely with mark schemes. Look at how they use, don't just copy the child's answer and paste it in ChatGPT and tell ChatGPT, grade this child for me using SAT scheme. Some of us here, we are copy and paste teachers. Please stop it. I don't like it. All right. So ensure that you are working closely with the SAT scheme or with the 11 plus scheme. All of these 11 plus exams I usually download. I used to download them with the answer. I use the answer, the scheme a lot. And another thing I do with the kids, right? At the beginning of when we are still doing introduction to this, I share the mark scheme with them. Especially when they have given me their answer, I'll now say, okay, let's go to the mark scheme and compare your answer to the answer that is on the mark scheme. Now tell me why you got it and why you did not get it. I use it, especially even with my GCSE students, I use it a lot. I use mark scheme. So don't be ashamed to share mark scheme at the beginning. It should not be don't do it later at the end. You now say, okay, use the mark scheme. No, you are doing it working closely with the child, not just throwing it that the child should just go and study. No, you're doing it closely with the child. So on my screen here, I have a past question. I think this is 2019 SATs past question. And like I said, they will always give them 3 questions put together, right? So look at it. The facts about Bumblebee and music box. This is they will read the 3 different booklets and then they will now answer the questions. All right, this is the question booklet. Yes. Oh, sorry, the answer booklet where they will put in their answers. All right. Miss Rose, okay, I'm coming to your question. Let me finish here. So they will come to the answers, right? They will come here and then they'll put their answer. And you can see some of the questions are 1 mark. Some of the questions are more than 1 mark. Let me take you guys to more than 1 mark question. Yeah, questions like this. And if a child, this is 1, 2, 3, 4. If a child gets only 2 here out of maybe I have, where's my pen? Maybe I'm the child and I take true, false. And the answer is supposed to be true, false, false. I am going to have 1 mark because I failed 2 questions. So this is another thing you need to teach child. Okay, so 2 questions. And you could see this one too has 2 marks. This is where they are doing what is the evidence from the text. They have to do retrieval. For SATs, you see a lot of retrieval questions from SATs. Yeah, you see a lot of retrieval question in SATs. So they will have to go put evidence. Another thing that you always see in SATs is that they will ask you, what is your impression of this person? They always ask impression question. That's one question that you will not always, that you always see. Let me see if I can find one that talks about impression here. Okay, yeah, look at this. Complete your thoughts. This is your impression of what Piper likes about the books and what she dislikes about music. This is an impression. Oh, look at it, number 32. You always see them ask impressions, impression questions always come up when they are doing what's it called? SATs tests. Maybe you could say Piper is proud. What part of the text tells you or makes you feel that Piper is proud? You have to put the evidence from the text. You have to go to the text and pick that line or the phrase and come and put it here. It says in the text that this. And as you can see, it's 3 marks. So if the child is only able to give impression but not able to give evidence, they have 1 mark. Okay, so this is one thing I want you guys to take note. So in comprehension, you always see 3 comprehension passages. And what are you teaching for SAT comprehension? You are teaching them how to read and understand the text, how to retrieve information from the text. You are teaching them how to identify um what's it called? Inference. Look at number 16. Number 16 says, in our modern world of this. This suggests that this is inference because it's suggesting what is the reader or the author trying to suggest to the reader. So based on what is written in the text, the child should be able to pick out the answer. This is inference question. So what is the author thinking about? And how do you know that that's what the author is thinking about for you to be able to get your answer? That is how you get inference. All right. I think inference is one part that teachers really struggle with when teaching English. And so they stick to retrieval. So if you're a teacher here and all you're teaching is retrieval, me and you will have problem. Please don't stick to only retrieval. There's inference, there's what let me show you what we have in comprehension. Should I deviate? Should I deviate? Okay, no, I'm not deviating. All right, but maybe if I still have time, I'm going to share with you what you always see or what comprehension, what you should teach when you're teaching comprehension. And maybe I'm going to share that with you, okay, at the end of me explaining SATs. So this is for SATs reading. Now we have SATs, right? This is the mark scheme. Like I say, always work closely with the mark scheme. If you go to, I'm going to drop the site in the chat. I'm going to drop the site in this chat where we usually go to find, yes, where we find SATs past paper. So you just go there and it's free. This one is free. It's not like 11 plus where the 11 plus is paid for. It's free. All right. All right. So moving forward here, this is the site. I think I can paste it here. All right. SATs paper. Okay. Let me just send it. Yeah, that's the site. So you have the mark scheme, work with it. Another thing you always see in this thing is SATs SPAG. This is SPAG. SPAG is spelling, punctuation, and grammar. Spelling, punctuation, and grammar. So for SPAG, you will always see questions like this, where they say underline this one, they're testing their grammar skills, they're testing their spelling ability, suffixes and prefixes, anything that has to do with grammar and spelling and punctuation. This is where you see it. And at this point, for remember in 11 plus, we are not teaching in isolation, but in Spark, I would say to an extent, it's good to teach in isolation when you're teach grammar, teach them spelling. What are the grammar spelling? We've talked about spelling rules. We've talked about grammar, the 8 parts of the grammar, preposition, adjective, adverb, verb, nouns, how nouns and verbs change when they have suffixes and all of that. The child should be able to know these things, right? Um, Again, you should be able to teach them punctuation. Basically, like I said, semicolon and colon. You will always ask, you see questions where they will ask, where do we put semicolon? Or, okay, look at this. This is parenthesis. Insert a pair of commas in this. The child should be able to put the commas where the extra information is. So this is where you're teaching them parenthesis. Again, you will still see questions like, this is verb form. I'm quickly going to, okay, this is contracted forms. I'm looking for something quickly. Let me see if I can see what I'm looking for. Dashes. I'm looking for semicolon and colons. Aha. Number 21. Insert a colon. Most children start, like I said, I've noticed this, they struggle with semicolon and colon. So please, you're teaching them these things as well. How to use them, not just identifying where to put them here, but also how to use them in writing. If you're teaching a GCSE class here, you will agree with me that most GCSE writing tasks have high marks. You will see that they always tell you that the child should be able to vary their punctuation, especially the use of semicolon and colons and dashes and brackets. They want to see how the child uses this fronted adverbials. When the comma comes in and all of that, they want to be able to see how the child uses all of these things, right? So if you are teaching it starts here, you should be able to teach all of these things as well. Okay. I think yeah, this is for SAT Spark. Please, if you have a question on SAT Spark, please let me know. And then for SATs, we still have spelling. This is another way that, or another one that they usually give them. Now, what do they do in spelling? Let me see if I can see a spelling question here. This is reading, reading, reading. I'm looking for spelling. Let me see if I can see a spelling. What do they do in spelling? They will call out 20 words for the child to spell. And most of the words that you usually see in these things are synonyms, sorry, homophones. Sorry, I'm trying to find if I'm supposed to have spelling somewhere here. You see them call homophones. You see them call silent letters. And these are the things that you're teaching your students spelling, silent letters. I don't know why I can't find spelling. Okay, but you are going to be teaching them silent letters. You're going to be teaching them homophones, homonyms, homographs. These are the words that you will likely see the most in 11 plus, sorry, in SAT spelling question. So they will call 20 words. I usually download with the audio from the SAT sites. I will download the audio, put it on the OneNote. I hope you all know that you can put audio on your OneNote, right? So I will download the audio, put the audio on the OneNote, and tell the child to play the audio from their end and spell the words. That's how we used to do our practice. And I will time the child for 20 minutes. So you have 1 minute per question. So the child is doing 20 spelling words in 20 minutes. If the child does not finish when the person calling the question has called the question, that's all. We are done. It's not my fault. It's your fault. It's not spelling it well. So that's how I usually do it. I will download the audio from the SAT site, put it on the OneNote, and then we use it. I use it together with the child. All right. And then, like I said, another one major skill you have to teach is timing. If you are teaching a child 11 plus exam, and you know that the exam date is getting close, use past questions. In fact, all your classes should be centered around past questions. Teaching in isolation should not be done few months, or teaching isolation, when I mean teaching isolation, like teaching 1-1, should not be done few months to exam date. No, use past questions so that when the child makes errors, or the ones that the child does not know, you will not say, oh, okay, you don't know this one, let's work on it quickly. You can now teach the child that one and then give the child homework on the parts the child was not able to do. Is that okay? Another way I used to assess my children is my students are Google Forms. I like using Google Forms. I create Google Form, put the questions, still past questions. Yeah, I could still tell child, I could put the past question and tell ChatGPT, we change the name of the people in this story. It's still the same story. But I'll tell ChatGPT, change the name of the people in this story, or change the animal, or change something, and then give me questions using the same model of questions asked here. And then I use it on a Google form. I'm able to test the child, because some children are the same thing. One thing with SAT is that the same SAT question you're using to prepare your children online, they are doing the same questions at school. Some of you will bear me witness that sometimes when you bring out the question, the child will not say, "Oh, we did this at school." So you are wondering, "Oh, you are done it at school. So what are we doing?" Do you understand? So to make it look new, you're still teaching the same skills, you're still teaching the same thing, but you could still use that same question model. That is why you're an online tutor. You have to go the extra mile. I know that some of us are lazy. We don't want to do extra work, but you have to, right? It's not everything. You really want to see the best out of your kids. Like I said, this year I prepared 18 students and all of them passed. Only one had 99. And the 99 self is not even still a failure, right? All of them had above 100. They were working at greater depth, 18 students. So you just to tell you that I go the extra mile. If I show you my Google form, you're going to see different type of questions that I have refurbished over time. So these are the things that I will advise you guys to do, right? Put in the extra work. Take the questions that you have and put it in ChatGPT. Maybe this PDF now, you can copy this PDF. This is 2024 reading booklet, right? Can copy it and then tell ChatGPT, this story, the girl who walked on air, I want you to change the story in another form. Use it as a boy who walked on air or a boy in a circus. ChatGPT will give you a story still similar to what is there. And then you will now make questions. Tell ChatGPT, okay, using the questions, make questions for me that are similar to this. And then you can now use them on Google Forms so that the child will not tell you, we did this in class last week. And you're wondering, because such questions are always repeated. The one that you will see that are not really repeated like that. If you have a lot, like me, I have a bank of them. So I cannot use one question twice in 11 plus because I have a bank of 11 plus questions. But you see SAT is the same everywhere in the world. What the child is doing in the UK is the same thing, you're using the same past questions. So the children are already conversant with this. So you have to go the extra mile to create questions for yourself. Please, if you have followed me here, please give me a thumbs up. Let me know we are together. I want to share one more thing before I call it a day. How do you download the audio? Just go there. Just go to, I shared the site, right? On the site where you see, go down to spelling. You see spelling, the audio of the spelling. Just download the audio. It will enter into your laptop. Then you come to OneNote and paste it there. That's how you do it. Very simple. All right, very simple. All right, moving forward. Yeah, I can see some thumbs up. That's good. Yeah, so moving forward, yeah, let's go again to, I said I wanted to share how I structure my comprehension lessons. So that those of you that are doing only, what's it called? Retriever. Don't do only retriever, please. So let me share this with you all so that those of you that are doing only retriever, you will not do this. Thank you, so you're welcome. Okay, let's go. Let's look at those ones. Where is that place? I have my sorry, like I said, I have a bank of questions. So yes, so this is it. So this is the five question sheet printable text. Okay, so let me use this. I want to use this one. I want to share this with all. I love this comprehension textbook a lot. Um, I like this textbook a lot. Why? Because it breaks down reading comprehension for me. It breaks it down. And let me see. Okay, I'm supposed to go to the question sheet. So let's see what comprehension usually takes. Okay, you're welcome, ma. All right, let's look at what comprehension usually takes. You did explain how to use Google Form. Google Form is you want to learn how to use Google Form. That's a different school altogether. Oh. Like I said, you on your Google, if you go to your Google tabs, that's a different school altogether. I cannot teach that one here, right? But I have it on my YouTube channel. Miss Debbie, please, you can share the link so that you guys can go and watch it. But I can teaching what's it called? How to use Google Form in, I don't know. I don't think I'll be able to do that. But let me see if I can touch it before my time elapses. But let's see what we can do, right? Now, if you're teaching comprehension, these are places or these are things you are to teach. Number one, retrieval. Number two, comparison. Comparison, you will see comparison a lot in 11 plus exam. If you're teaching 11 plus, they will say, compare this person's thoughts to this person's thoughts. You will see comparison questions. Okay, what happened at the beginning and what happened? Compare the author's feeling at the beginning and at the end. You will see comparison. So you're teaching comparison. So I like that's why I say I like this Collins textbook because it shows me or it shows us like different things that we can actually do when we're teaching, right? And then you have why is my mouse disconnected? All right. Then number one is retrieval. Number two, comparison. If you have your pen and paper, please write it. Oh, aha. Number two is comparison. Number three, another question, another thing that you can teach is summarizing. How to summarize. They will tell some children in 3 to 5 line. I saw this in 111 plus CSSE past question. It says in 3 to 5 lines, in no more than 3 to 5 lines, summarize the last paragraph. So the child has to summarize the last paragraph in 3 to 5 lines. So you are also teaching summarizing skill as well. All right. Let's go to skill number 4. Skill number 4 you will teach in comprehension is word meaning. I've talked about word meaning a lot. When you are using words in vocabulary and context, when you're talking about the synonym, antonym, word meaning. You will always see this thing in past question. All right. So you're teaching word meaning. And this is how you are to vary your comprehension passages or your comprehension question. Don't sleep on one. Please, don't only teach retrieval. Okay, you're teaching word meaning. After teaching word meaning, what else again are we teaching? Inference, very important. After retrieval, another skill, major skill you always see them ask is inference. What do you infer? What do you think? What does the author think? Or what does the author want the reader to think? Or what is the author suggesting? Inference, right? You will see inference. And then the next one you will see is prediction. There are some texts that they will tell you in your own finish the story. I saw this in ISAB. Finish the story in one paragraph. The story might end in a cliffhanger, and then they will tell the child, finish the story. Or what do you predict will happen based on an evidence from the text? So you could say at the end, he is going to
Oh
kill
yeah,
the
all of you
dragon
data from
because
that
he said,
teaching.
hey, Jesus, hell, mothers.
Once it's not
Holiday. Okay, please, they should leave the kitchen. All right, let's move forward. Yeah, moving forward. Prediction. So they will always predict, like they'll always, they might not prediction. Not something you always see, but it's also a skill I think you should also teach in comprehension. And then we've talked about inference. I think these are the major things. Summarizing. What else again? Retrieval. We've talked about retrieval. We've talked about word meaning. There's one more that I think word choice. Yes, this is the one I was looking for. Word choice. What other words can replace this? Okay, what other words can replace a particular word? What word tells you that about the person's emotion? You are describing the emotion based on the word choice. And this is why I said a writer can say the wind blew, and the writer can say a ferocious wind tore at the roof of the houses. Why did the writer use that kind of sentence? Why didn't he just say the wind blew? So that's word choice. Why did they also use that personification to tell us that this is what the writer did? You are teaching these things as well. You are making the child to think. The major thing you as an online teacher, you have only 1 hour with the child. Oh. Your job is to ensure that the child is thinking. So you are not giving straight answers. You are giving the child, you are prompting, your work is to prompt the child. What do you think? Where did you get your answer from? What part of the text gives you? The child should be verbal. The child should open their mouth and talk. If you are teaching a child that the child is just doing yes, okay, yes. You have not thought of self-reflection. At this point, I want everybody to be doing self-reflection. How do your students work with you in class? Do they just answer yes? Or just the same way I'm asking now, I'm saying, give me thumbs up. Nobody is talking. Don't try to, this one I'm doing now is lecturing. You don't lecture when you want to teach exam. The child should be able to express their thoughts out. There's another thing I usually do. I'll tell the child, I want you to think out loud. I want to hear what you are thinking. So sometimes the children will be like, I'm thinking of my answer. I say, think out loud. I want to hear what you're thinking. and then they begin to analyze their thoughts based on what is in the passage, and you hear how they are thinking. That's another way you can get a child to think fast. And then you cannot tell the child, are you sure? Can you look at this thing again? What if it is this way? And the child, okay, that's where learning has taken place. Because why? You were able to hear what they were thinking. But sometimes some children will be like, I want to think quietly. Don't allow them. Oh. You might allow them, it's not bad, but most of the time, let them think out loud. All right. Okay, so I think I've explained all of these things so far. Someone said, can we see the comprehension textbooks online? Can we download it? I paid for this one, so I don't know if you see it online. Can you send this textbook to us? Oh, where can we get the Collins textbooks? I will think about it. Just if you check online, you will not see it. I paid for this one. I paid for it. And I paid for, yeah, 5, 6, 4, 3. Let me see. Maybe I will share it. Okay, someone said I wanted to ask if you know any. I don't know. Samra, I don't really know. You have to check your country. I think in Pakistan there are a lot of go on LinkedIn, yeah? Samra, you sent this question a lot of time. Go on LinkedIn and search for online physics tutoring or online physics openings. Okay, online physics tutor openings. You will see, especially your people have a lot of job openings. So please check on LinkedIn. I think that's one place you will always see. So if you go to the search bar and search, you will see companies from your own side or your own country where you can apply, and then you start teaching as a physics tutor online. I hope that answers your question. All right. So those of you that are looking for the college textbook, people should just pray that the Lord touches my heart so that I can send it to you people. If not, oh, lo, lo, lo. All right. So, but these are the things here that these are the things I wanted to share with everybody. I'm going to stop sharing now. I believe that you all have learned something. This is question and answer section. If you have a question, you can go ahead.
Mm. I'm sure we're still digesting everything you've said. It's a lot.
Okay.
Please, if you've learned something today, I would like to see a reaction. I would like to see you say thank you in the comment section. Miss Blessing really came prepared for us today. She didn't just come to teach us theory, she came and she showed us the work that we need to do. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Mom.
It was really
You're welcome.
impactful, insightful, very, very practical. Thank you. Do we have
You're
any
welcome.
questions?
Yeah, I see someone's hand up.
Okay. Who is Zainomi? Who is Zainomi here?
Mhm.
All right, so you can ask your question.
All right. Good evening, everybody.
Good
Good
evening.
evening.
Yeah, I really want to appreciate the organizers, as well as the host and the co-host. And I want to sincerely say that the session was really insightful and educative. At some point, I began to feel as a student, I was really learning and taking notes of several things. But I just want to ask, with all these different examination and school settings over there, like for the overseas students. Like in Nigeria, our curriculum is, I can say our curriculum is the same. It's like one from the Ministry of Education. Does it mean that every student they produce there have different mentality towards how they relate with English? That's my first question. Thank you. Hello.
I didn't get, you said, sorry, please let me get your question right.
Now,
The way,
concerning the
mm,
specific exams, the
mm,
categories of examinations that they have there.
mm,
Now, does it mean that every child there have like that come from different category of schools, like the special school, the general, the all those schools you mentioned? Does it mean
mm.
that they have different mentality or approaches to to how they answer or to how they speak English or to how they use English? That is my question.
Okay. Okay, let me explain this here. Thank you for that question. First of all, I want to clear the air. Exam boards are just the same way in Nigeria we have for SS3 we have WAEC. WAEC is an exam board. NECO is an exam board. What's the name of that other one? Is it GCS? Is it GCSE? Not GCSE. WAEC, NECO. There's one other one that we used to
It's
write.
GC.
NAPTEP.
This
GCE.
GCE, NAPTEC, they are all exam boards. And that's the same way in the UK. We have different exam boards. Are you with me? So it's still the same English skill we are teaching. But the schools are using different exam boards. And these are the exam boards I explained that we use GL exam board. Some schools might use ISEB, some schools might use CSSE. So it is best you know the school the child wants to go to so that you can use the exam board to prepare the child for the exam. Do you understand that now, sir? So it's not like they are speaking different English from what we are speaking. No, it's that the skill you will use to teach GL is not the same skill you will use to teach CSSE or ISEB. That is what this difference is about. It's about the exam skill. It's about the child knowing when to write in full sentences or when to choose an option. So these are the differences. So it's not like the English is different. The same noun that we used to learn in what's it called in Nigeria, the same noun that they are learning in the UK, but the way they teach the skills in usage is very different. Is that okay? So that's I hope that answers your question. Yes. Okay, so let's go. Yeah, any other question? Let me see. Is there any other question before all right, I'm seeing a lot of thank you, thank you, thank you. You're all welcome. Oh. Okay, so someone says 11 plus is so advanced to the common entrance exam. Yes, it's advanced. Yes, it is. Can you explain a little on how to use the Google form? Hey, Chimu. Google form is on is on Miss Debbie. Do we have the time for that one? I'm not sure I will be able to do that. We will have to do that one maybe another time,
Another time.
or we will have to watch the YouTube video. That's a long process. I may not be able to touch that. Okay. So you can also still learn how to do that on YouTube. Okay, I have Mr. Okechuku's hand is up. Okay, let me hear from you, Mr. Okechuku, and then Miss Nikki, and then we'll call it a day. Thank you. So that I will not keep Miss Debbie here. Okay, Mr. Okechuku, go ahead. Oh, Mr. Shine's hand is up too.
Good day,
Okay,
ma.
let's go. Yes, sir. Good evening.
Thank you very much. I wanted to ask a simple question. If based on everything you've taught us, and I've just been thinking, what advice are you going to give us in terms of the level of work we're supposed to put in to be able to be excellent in teaching English language and exam classes like this?
Okay. Let me put it this way, right? Let me put it this way. If you are looking at level of excellence, you are the teacher. You know what you are looking for. I could sit on my chair, right? Please just follow me, right? I could sit on my chair for preparing for a lesson, a 1-hour lesson. There's a client that Miss Debbie gave to me recently. That client has kept me on my both on my toes and on my heart, right? I could sit on my chair and prepare for a lesson for 3 hours that I will teach for 1 hour because I am looking for the best. So you are the teacher, you know what you are looking for. That's why I said some of us, we are just too relaxed. That's our problem. For me, I know that these past questions, especially SATs, students are using it in school. You will not see me use normal SAT questions with my students. No, I will not do that. I will take the questions, especially comprehension. I will refurbish it, and then I will give them again to do it. Let's see if that skill you were able to use in school, you are still able to use that same skill to get the answers here in my lesson. So it's not it's you as a teacher. That one falls on you. What do you want? So if you want the best, you have to put in extra effort. I remember when I started, I was sleeping on when I wanted to teach, when I was learning to teach GCSE exam. If you see me on YouTube, once you open my YouTube, the first thing you see is GCSE paper, AQA paper A, AQA paper B, or paper 1 and paper 2. You will always see these things on my YouTube because these are the things that I want to know. I want to be able to teach my students. Put this one here, put this one here. The easiest way. I want to be able to teach them the easiest way so that they pass their exam. So it's on you. Do you understand that, sir? So you are the teacher, you know what you're looking for. You put in extra effort to get the results. All right.
Thank you
I
very
hope that
much.
answers your question. You're welcome. Okay, Nike, please go ahead, ask your question quickly so that we can go ahead. Quick.
All right. Okay, so thank you so much, Miss B. Let me
You're
start with that
welcome.
first. So
Mhm.
I just need a little clarification. Children writing the SAT exam, will they also write the 11 plus, or they have to choose one? Because I believe one is an assessment and then the other is, I don't know. So I just need a clarification for it, for this.
Yeah. Okay, let me explain that quickly. Can you hear me? Are you done asking your question? Yeah, I'm done asking, right? Okay, let me explain that quickly before I go to Mr. Shine. Okay. I said maybe you came in late, but when I started, I said 11 plus exam is written by students in year 6 at the beginning of the term. It's like, let me say, first term, first month. Schools are resuming in September. Most students are writing their 11 plus exam at the beginning of the September second week and third week. These are the 11 plus exam weeks. So 11 plus is written by, and it's not all children in the UK that writes 11 plus exam. No, it is a student that want to go to choice schools. There are some specific school. The parents say, oh, I want my child to go to Elizabeth something something school or Oak something something school. Those are the ones that you will see them prepare for the 11 plus exam. And they start preparing for the 11 plus exam from year 4 and year 5. And they write it in September, beginning of year 6. Is that okay? Now we have SATs. SAT is written in just like the same way in Nigeria we write our common entrance exam in the in our second term. SAT is written in like their second term or of beginning of third term thereabout is June, May. That's when they write SAT, right? SAT is written by all the students in the UK. Year 6, not Scotland and Wales and Northern Ireland or those ones. Is it Northern Ireland or what's the name of their island? That one is different. Those ones they don't write SAT. If they are in Scotland or Wales, they don't used to write SAT. But students in England, London, those ones are the ones that are writing SAT. In year 6, it's like their common entrance, and all of them will write it. But 11 plus is not all the children that write 11 plus. No, it is optional. Just the same way, if you want to enter one big school now in Nigeria, you will write the school common entrance or you write the school exam. That's what 11 plus is about. Is that okay?
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, welcome. Okay, Mr. Chine, take yours and then we can over. Yes, Mr. Shine, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Miss Blessing. Well done.
You're
We
welcome.
really learned a lot from you. I
Mhm.
particularly. Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for
You're welcome.
delving comprehensively into these concepts. Okay, I would like you to please share some information with us because we are in the same group in 11 plus and 11 plus SAT exam teachers, but I think you hardly respond to messages there. I know it's because you are a very busy person and all of that. So there are questions that I usually ask on the page, but I don't often get, though I get answers. But let me just go straight to what I'm asking. I'm asking for you to, if you have, share sites where we can get questions, practice papers, paper exam questions for these different exam boards, any ones that you have. That's
Okay.
all that I'm asking.
Okay, what I will do is I'm going to share what I have. However, I want to make this suggestion. Those of us that are in that group or in the group where we have the 11 plus, apart from getting free questions, like I said, one place that you can go that you will have good question based on different school is Pi Academy. And there
Pi
is no
Academy.
limit. Yes, Pi Academy, and there's no limit to how many you can download. 10 people can come together, right? And pay to have access, yes, Pi Academy, and have access to Pi Academy and download as much material as you can on 11 plus. The price for 11 plus is different. The price for GCSE is different. The price for SAT is everywhere. So that one. So if you're an 11 plus teacher and you really want to get papers, you can actually come together just the same way in my own community, right? Or in my own group, the same thing we used to do. We want to purchase a paper, we'll come together. You can come together and then do it. But like you said, the ones that I'm able to or I can lay hands on, definitely I'm going to share with the group. Okay. All right. I think I'm done answering questions. Thank you so much, Miss Debbie.
Thank you so much for your time, Miss B. Do we have any comments, suggestions, questions, clarification? I can see a question. Can you add me to the group for 11 plus? Okay, we're going to look into that. So, what I'll do is I'm going to drop a link here for us. So, I think I already did. You click on it to join our community. We always recruit teachers every now and then, so you can click on the link I sent earlier. I'm going to push the link down again to join our community. And then from there, we can add you to recruitment and onboarding group where you can get information like that. So please, if this is your first time here, we've been having this series started first week of this month, and today we are just looking at 11 plus English and SAT. We've been doing other we've been looking at other topics. We've done the GCSE science. We still have the GCSE maths and English. So please prepare, plan, and come for the meeting. It's going to hold this week. And then we also have another meeting again where Miss Mercy will be teaching us, showing us how to teach LES children online. You don't want to miss that too. So please join us, join the group, the community group page. I'm going to share it now to get information on the next meeting, and then join the group to get the recording of today's meeting and subsequent meetings. Then, for some of us that are asking about Miss Blessing's YouTube channel, please, we'll be posting it on the community page. So you have to join the community to get it, okay? This is the link. Someone says, I'm open to learning. Of course, that's why we're here. We're all here to learn. And we thank God for people like Miss Blessing, who is always willing to offload. So when next we have this kind of meeting, we will announce it on the group page and you can come again and learn. We also offer tutoring opportunities. So if you are venturing into the online tutoring space or you are currently there, we welcome you to our community page. We welcome you to our recruitment room where we will check you out and connect you with opportunities. If you have any other questions, please feel free to ask them in the communities page and we'll respond to it. But in the absence of that, okay, I can see Miss Mary. Miss Mary, do you have a question for us? Hello, if you have a question, you can quickly ask before we go. But if not, this is where we close the curtain for tonight. I wish you all a beautiful, beautiful, memorable evening. And I look forward to seeing you on Saturday and on Sunday again for another series. Thank you so much and enjoy your evening.
Thank you, Miss Debbie.
Thank you. Thank you, Miss Blessing.
Thank you, Miss Debbie.
Thank you.
Miss Debbie.
Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Debbie. It was an insightful evening.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. K. It was nice having
Yeah,
you around.
I couldn't have possibly missed this one. Bye-bye.
You're welcome.
All right.
All right. Good night, everyone.
Thank you.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.